Absolutely. Hass, listen, loving the show so far. If you are, please smash the like button. Listen, you've got 4 very passionate Spurs fans. That's all it is. Everyone's friends. It's cool. Hass, Tottenham Hotspur play Wolves on Saturday. We have no Udogie, no Van der Ven, no Romero. Everyone's waiting to hear about Maddison, so I assume that he's okay. But we've got no Ben Davies as well, as far as I understand. No Ryan Sessegnon. We've got Ashley Phillips was pulled out of the under-21s, which we're all assuming that means he's going to play. Twofold. Who plays in defence against Wolves? And I want to caveat that, to tag on to that with, depending on who that back two is, does that depend on how we play again? I.e., can we play the way we normally play with Van der Ven and Romero if both the centre-halves, for example, are Davis and Dyer, or Dyer and Royale? Can we still have that recovery pace on the back? So I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on all of that.
So first of all, loads of injuries. For me, Dyer's got to play. He's the only experienced centre-back, whether we like it or not. He's the only experienced centre-back we've got at the club that's fit and healthy and ready to play at the moment. That's a fact. The 2 inexperienced ones, Dorrington and Phillips, you can't play them both together. Someone mentioned earlier on today they'd rather have those 2 start. I wouldn't. It has to be Dyer, and for me, Phillips has to come in as well. He's got some sort of first-team experience, having played at Blackburn. So for me, that's more than enough. I'll take him right now. And for me, it's a good opportunity for him to sort of take his chance and show us what he's got. As an 18, 19-year-old, he'll be buzzing right now. He'll be buzzing because, someone would have said to him, look, you might be playing in the first team this week. I know if I was 18, 19 and at Tottenham and someone said to me, I'm going to be starting for the first team, I'd be wanting to do everything I can to make sure I take the opportunity with both hands. In terms of how we're going to play, well, everyone seemed to agree with the high line on Monday. And everyone sort of said with the players that we had on the pitch, we couldn't play a low block or we couldn't sit a little bit deeper because they would have killed us with the crossing and everything else. So one must assume that he's going to continue playing the high line with whoever he puts out. So that's what I'm going with. I think he'll continue to play how he's going to play. He made a statement after the game against Chelsea and said that this will be the way he's going to play, whether we've got 5, 6, 7 players. He made that very clear. So by that, I would assume that he's going to continue in the same vein. You can't play a high line with 9 men and then revert back to with like the likes of Eric Dyer and everyone else, Højbjerg and Royale, and then the very next game say, well, no, these players can't really play a high line. I'm going to play, a little bit deeper. Because if you believed in them to play that high line against Chelsea, then you got to stand by what you believe in, right? And you got to play in that same vein, right? Because now the whole narrative is, I know everyone's reciting the Bill Nicholson quote about aiming high and failing, having aimed high and this, that, and the other. Is very clever, really, from Ange, because he's following that sort of philosophy. And he's put the whole sort of fan base on a high at the moment because they're like, well, actually, this guy is come in and he's trying to do everything he can to play the sort of football that we want to see. And we don't care if we lose. If we give it a go, then we give it a go, So it's very clever what's happening at the moment, looking at it from the outside. But against Wolves, just to round it up for you guys, I don't want to sort of waffle on too long. I'd go with Phillips and Dyer at the back. I don't like Dyer. I'll stand by that. I don't think he's a very good defender. I think he's very limited, but I will give credit to him for Monday. He come in, he put a few good tackles in. He's not going to be good in a foot race, let's be honest. But Phillips coming in, he could be the one that provides the pace in that back line. because he has got pace and he's good with his feet as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those two have to come in for me on the weekend. I don't care that Phillips is 18 years old. He's got first team experience from the age of 17 playing for Blackburn. And I think it'll be a good step up for him, good experience coming in against Wolves as well. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Will, look, obviously we know the way we're going to play. Looks like it's for me. I think the defense is sorted, right? It looks like it's going to be Porro, Dyer, Phillips, Royale. I think if they're the fit ones, will Wolves fancy their chances against us? Will, I mean, I've seen Wolves fans in my chat today. There's even one in there right now saying that the high line suits them, and without the recovery of Van der Ven in there, that they're comfortable playing that way. What's your feelings, Wolves Spurs?
I mean, I think they'll fancy it. I think we have. So the key now is, especially, I think Maddison's going to be fine. I mean, we've already had him once this season walk out of a match with a boot on his ankle, and he ended up playing the next week. That's not even the case in this particular scenario. So I don't think that Maddison's going to be an issue. Maddison, Postecoglou's already said that Maddison always kind of niggles with injuries, and he never really trains every single day anyway. Hasn't done it all season. So I don't think the fact that he hasn't been in initial training sessions problematic necessarily. He could be out. I don't know.
I think he'll play. Yeah.
But I think he'll probably play. So, midfield up forward, we pretty much have our normal starting 11. It's only in the back line. Wolves has struggled to break teams down. Neto's out. He's really been their main kind of creative force this season. So that's really going to kind of, hold them to struggle, especially if we're going to be pressing them high from the front. So the great thing about the Postecoglou system is we defend from the front. So most of our defensive work is done by our attacking three in our midfield. And it's only when we get into sticky situations that the back line really has to come into things. It just means that everybody's going to have to step up. The midfield and Bissouma's going to have a great game. All of those things are going to have to happen. I think we have enough to beat them. And Postecoglou's even said himself that our attack this year, we haven't been as clinical as we need to be. We didn't really get to see that against Chelsea because Brendan Johnson comes off after 30 minutes because of the Romero red card. So I think we'll be fine. Will we concede? Probably. But all we have to do is score 2 or 3, and I think we win that game. So regardless of how up for it Wolves are, I don't think that they have the goal scoring capability to outscore us if we finish our chances. So they're gonna have to defend their asses off.
Yeah, I mean, Perchy, I think Stella and I had this chat yesterday on a video that it looks like if Maddison plays, then the midfield and the forward line is the midfield and the forward line that's normal. Yeah. So it is purely just the back four that is very different. Does our midfield and forward line outweigh the deficiencies at the back against Wolves? I'm purely talking against Wolves. I'm not talking Villa. I'm not talking Man City. Against Wolves, without Neto, they've still got Cunha. They've still got Hwang. They've still got who's the other really quick guy I saw destroy Liverpool on the wing?
Bellegarde.
Do we outweigh that with our attack?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we've got a better midfield plus attack in balance to theirs. I think they're a little bit toothless when Neto's not playing. I think he's there. I know they don't play the same position, but he's there, James Maddison. He's the one that gets it all ticking for Wolves. I like Cunha. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he scores enough. But listen, I think it's in air quotes the test, right? That everyone we've all been sort of fearing, and it was always going to happen at some point. Now we've got to do it. Get on with it. Listen, there's worry about game. That's why I always have stood by my morals in the sense of it's game by game. I'll worry about each game as it comes. Worry about this one. I think we'll be fine. I think we beat Wolves. I think we win 2-1. But listen, I think defensively, I think it's a good one to see how Ashley Phillips does. I think this is going to be the sink or swim moment for this kid because he could come in. By the way, we've not. I don't think enough of us have seen enough of a statement of this lad to see what he's like. He could come in, by the way, and we all go, "Oh my god, this guy's incredible." Well, he's 18. This kid is unbelievable. And then you go, okay, here we go. But what you don't want is this lad getting swamped. I think Eric Dyer is going to start. I think it'll be crazy to play 2 youngsters. I think I heard someone mentioned on here about Dorrington. If you play 2 academy lads, I think that'd be crazy. Whether we like it or not, Eric Dyer plays. I think. Do you know what the one thing for me will be the question mark? Is Porro fit? Is Porro going to play? Because what worries me then, if Porro can't play, we haven't got a left back, because obviously Royale would end up playing a left back. We haven't got a left back otherwise, because Royale would end up going in a right back, and all 3 of our left backs are injured. That is the worry then.
Yeah. I mean, still, one of the things I'll look at, and first of all, before they do that, thank you very much. Keep smashing the like button. We've just had a few subscribers. Listen, I'll shamelessly say I did set out a target to get to 11,715. We're 9 away from that. If 9 people would be so kind to subscribe, the link is in the chat. Please subscribe to our wonderful guests, Tottenham away and Southview Coys. Please do that. And here is the link. Still, one of the things that's quite interesting, and Ryan Griffiths, always in the chat, big up Ryan, is a Wolves fan. And he said that in their last 3 at home, they've not lost to City, Villa and Newcastle. Now, that's not bad, right? I mean, that's 3 of the top, what Newcastle now, top 6 or top 7 that have not managed to go to Wolves and win. Is that a worry for us? I mean, is this more a fact about them being a hard-working team rather than a worrying team?
I think Wolves this year have been better than what their results have shown. Against Man United, first game of the season, they should have won. They should have at least got a draw at Old Trafford. I've watched games this year where Wolves have been really, really good to watch. Very creative side. I think
that was VAR against United. VAR robbed them against United as well.
With the Onana scissor hands, wasn't it? Yeah. I think the manager who's at Wolves, he did a fantastic job with Bournemouth last year. I mean, he came to White Hart Lane and did a number on us 3-2 last season. He's tactically astute and he's a good coach. So I don't think this is going to be by any means an easy day. I think this is a very tough game for us all of a sudden. I thought it was a tough game before the injuries. Now you make Wolves the favourite. I think Wolves are favourite going into this game.